This is worksheet number 13, where we're going to learn about a halacha that Rav Zvid says about a shoel, about a borrower. But before we start worksheet 13, I want to go back to discussing some of the topics in the previous worksheets. First of all, in worksheets 9 and 10, we were talking about what Rav Chia bar Ava says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Going back to the Mishnah, which had talked about a shomer that's watching something that gets lost or stolen, one of the cases of the Mishnah was shilem velo ratza lishava, that the watchman wanted to pay. He said he paid and he didn't want to swear. Rabbi Chia bar Abba said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, lo shilem mamish, that it doesn't really mean he actually paid, but even if he just said he would pay, that's enough for him to get the kefel. Now, if we go over here to Rav Zvid's going to also be discussing whether we're talking about a case where he said he was going to pay, or whether he actually pays. We're going to be discussing a case that has to do with that, so that's why that's important. Going back to worksheets 11 and 12, there, if you remember, we were talking about a few cases that Rav Papa told us, different cases, shomer chinam, a shomer sachar. The last case, case number 3, A and B, if you remember, a shoel that was watching something, and something happened to it, and he said he would pay. That was Rav Papa's third case. So speaking about a shoel, a borrower, now comes along Rav Zvid here in worksheet 13. He's also going to be talking about a shoel, about a borrower, but he's going to say something a little bit different to Rav Papa. He's actually talking to Rav Papa. And the Gemara starts off, Amar le Rav Zvid. Rav Zvid said to him, to Rav Papa, Hachi Amar Abaye. This is what Abaye said. Shoel ad sheyishalem, that a borrower until he pays. Now you have to fill in a few words to make sense out of what Rav Zvid is saying. What does that mean? Shoel ad sheyishalem, a borrower until he pays. So the few words you have to stick in over there are, he doesn't get the kefel. So here's how you read it. Shoel ad sheyishalem, a borrower doesn't get the kefel until he pays. Now why doesn't the borrower get the kefel until he pays? If you remember what Rabbi Chia bar Abba said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, by other shomrim, other watchmen, they can even say, I'm going to pay, and they get the kefel. But Rav Zvid here is telling us, no, by a shoel, by a borrower, he does not get the kefel until he pays. Why? Well, that's what the Gemara asks. My taima. What's the reason? Why does a borrower have to actually pay to be able to get the kefel? Answers the Gemara, Hoil v'chol hana shelo, since all the benefit is his, which means that a shoel, which is different than all other watchmen, he gets to use the thing that he is watching, and he didn't even have to pay for it. Like a socher, he's renting it, he paid for it to use it. And all the other shomrim, shomer chinam, shomer sachar, they can't use it. But a shoel, he gets all the benefit, even without having to pay. Therefore, b'dibura lo makni le kfela. With words, he doesn't sell him the kefel. That means that the owner is not willing to give the kefel to a borrower just because the borrower says words. Just because the borrower says, oh, I'll pay you for it, that's not enough for the owner to say, I'm going to sell you the kefel. He would have to actually pay and not just say he's going to pay before he gets the kefel. So that's what Rav Zvid says. Just one more review. Rav Zvid says that a shoel, a borrower, he gets the kefel only if he actually pays for the thing that he was watching. And the reason is because he has all the benefit, more than any other watchman, and therefore the owner does not sell him the kefel with dibura, with just words. He has to actually pay before he gets the kefel. Now we're going to bring a brisa that proves that this is the halacha. Tanya kavase de Rav Zvid. We have a brisa like Rav Zvid. It's a brisa that proves what Rav Zvid just said. Here's the brisa. Hashoel para mechaveiro, someone who borrows a cow from his friend, v'nigneva, and it's stolen. And here's the key words, v'kidem hashoel v'shilem, the borrower came and he paid, ve'achar kach nimtza haganev, and then the thief is found, mishalem tashlume kefel l'shoel. You pay double payments to the borrower. So you see the halacha is like Rav Zvid said. What happened in this case? The borrower, kidem hashoel v'shilem, he came and he paid. That seems to indicate he actually paid, not just he said he was going to pay. So you see that Rav Zvid is right, that a borrower doesn't get the kefel unless he actually pays. That's what we see from this brisa.